The hour of 9:30 having arrived, I'm now calling this House Housing and Community Development Committee voting meeting to order. For everyone's information, this meeting is being recorded and utilizing Microsoft Teams software for remote members. The public is watching this meeting live online, and it will be saved on the committee's YouTube channel. Dina, would you please call the roll? Here. Designation. 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 Designation.
Here. Designation.
Here.
Designation.
Here.
Designation.
Right. Thank you, Dina. I want to welcome Representative Olsemer, who's our newest member to the committee, and as tradition would have it, he's volunteered to take everyone to dinner tonight. So anybody, just let you know.
Thank you very much.
All right. So we'll get started with House Bill 2232. I want to recognize Representative Irvin, or Chairman Irvin, here for a couple brief announcements.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Chairman. It's my pleasure to actually introduce two of our new members to our staff on the committee. Tyler Hartman, he's our summer intern, resident of Jim Thorpe, currently studying law at Rutgers Law School, as well as studying for his MBA at Meridian. He holds an undergraduate degree in business from Meridian University and is a licensed realtor, so that's very nice to have him before us here as well. He'll be with us until August. And we also have Matt Owens joining us as a policy analyst. He's joining us on the Housing Committee as well as the Commerce Committee. He had been with the Finance Committee for the last 2 years. So thank you for joining us, Matt. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
All right. Thank you. We'll now start with House Bill 2232. I'll recognize Representative Rabb to make remarks.
Chairman Sturla, Chairman Irvin, and members of the Housing and Community Development Committee, thank you for the opportunity to address you today on House Bill 2232, legislation I've introduced along with my co-prime sponsor, Representative Napoleon Nelson of Montgomery County. This legislation is about protecting basic property rights of individuals who have inherited or owned property as a tenancy in common. Tenancy in common basically means more than one individual owns a transferable interest in a piece of property. When there's a court-ordered sale or a partition by sale, courts will typically order the property sold at auction. However, auctions often yield lower sales prices below market value. This harms the tenants in common by depriving them of the market value of their property, but gives the buyer, which can often be an investor or property flipper, an unjustified windfall because the buyer acquires the property at a significant discount from its market value. This bill seeks to put procedures and processes in place for courts to follow if there is no agreement in record which otherwise binds the co-tenants. In other words, this legislation provides a means for heirs of family homes or farms to keep such valuable assets in their families when the owner, oftentimes an elder, dies without a will. By adding additional due process protections, a vote for this bill ensures that families preserve their financial wealth. Pennsylvania residents are given priority for certain federal loans involving development of dormant farmland, including legal expenses incurred by heirs to clear title to property owned by a deceased relative, and lastly, the independent right to contract is preserved. Heirs' property is land passed down through generations without a will. This land is vulnerable to loss due to outdated partition laws. These laws allow forced sales of the property when one owner requests it, often at a fraction of its value. My bill offers several protections to heir property owners, including the right to buy out a co-owner who wants to sell, a stronger preference for dividing the property physically rather than selling it, and improved sales procedures to get a fair price if a sale is necessary. This legislation has been successfully enacted into law all across the United States on a strong bipartisan basis because such statutes benefit communities in both rural and urban communities, especially where a family homestead or farm may be the main or only financial asset for a given household where the decedent has died without a will. I want to thank you for allowing me to deliver remarks as the maker of the bill. I will entertain any questions.
Thanks. Any questions from members? All right, I'll now entertain a motion to move the bill. Representative Khan, seconded by Representative Donahue. Any questions or comments, any questions or comments now that the bill is on the floor? All right, any negative votes? Seeing none, the bill is reported 25-0. Thank you. Next up is House Bill 2254. Ashley, will you please describe the bill and amendment?
House Bill 2254 is sponsored by Representative Benninghoff, and we also have an amendment, A04815, which is sponsored by Chairman Ervin. I'll just describe both at one time if that's appropriate. The underlying bill and the amendment both reduce the notice timelines for a municipality that is choosing to opt in to enforce their building codes locally. Right now, a municipality choosing to do so has a 180-day notice requirement to the Department of Labor. This bill, with the amendment being offered, will move that to 90 days and will credit municipalities that have already given this notice for any days prior to the enactment of the legislation. Additionally, the amendment being offered is addressing some concerns from stakeholders by clarifying that we are only discussing the timelines regarding the municipality's enforcement elections, but not their adoption of building codes as an ordinance.
Okay, thank you, Ashley. I now need a motion to consider Chair Irwin's amendment 04815. Representative Stander, and seconded by Representative Twardzik. Any comments or questions from members on the amendment? Seeing none, are there any negative votes on the amendment? Seeing none, the amendment is adopted 25-0. I now need a motion to report the bill as amended out of the House. Representative Ervin moves and seconded by Representative Kutz. Are there any questions on the bill as amended? Seeing none, are there any negative votes? Seeing none, the bill is reported 25-0. Next up is House Bill 2348. Ashley, please describe the bill and amendment.
I'll take that.
Okay.
Thank you.
Representative Ervin. Chairman Ervin.
Thank you for bringing this bill before the committee today. House Bill 2348 and the amendment being offered today look to directly address an issue that we've heard from some of our local officials who have downtown areas with empty lots that could be the location of much-needed housing in Pennsylvania. Many of Pennsylvania's downtowns where the residential homes have been demolished due to neglect or blighted condition, it's difficult to replace these areas just because of the residential structures, because of the setbacks, modern setbacks that are needed in the requirements in such a small lot. This bill would amend, with the amendment, will amend the Municipal Planning Code Act to make it clear that municipal officials, where it makes sense, are allowed to allow these new residential structures to be built on the lot that was previously with the previous setbacks. So I ask everyone for their support on the committee. Thank you.
Thank you. We'll now consider amendment, Chairman Irvin's amendment 04713. I need a motion. Representative Jones, seconded by Representative Twardzik. Any comments or questions from members? Yes, Representative Probst.
Just a quick question, and forgive me if, I missed this. It's 100% up to the municipality. So for an example, in a historical district on a main street where there are required setbacks, the municipality could still make sure that those setbacks happen from maybe a burned down building and another example is, when there's requirements of a storefront on the first floor, apartments on the second, none of that is going to leave the municipality's control, correct?
No, with that amendment, and originally we were looking at putting it into the building code, and that would have allowed, more stringent, enforcement of it. But putting it into the municipal code, planning code, that gives the municipalities the option to handle that. Yes, but in some of your, I know I have a borough in my district where the setbacks, the lot's only 20 foot wide, and about the only thing you could fit onto it would be a mobile home. So if you want to build on it, the modern setbacks do not allow construction. So that's one of the reasons why we're looking at changing this to,
Okay,
to
good. I
allow
just want to make sure.
municipalities to do that. Yes.
I just want to make sure they still have the ultimate say.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you. Any further questions? Are there any negative votes? Seeing none, the amendment is adopted 25-0. I now need a motion to report the bill as amended. Representative Khan, seconded by Representative Jones. Are there any questions on the bill as amended? Are there any negative votes? Seeing none, the bill is reported as amended, 25-0. Next up is House Resolution 425. I recognize the resolution's prime sponsor, Representative Powell, for remarks. Yeah, she is.
Good morning. Thank you, Chairman. This resolution would allow for a study to be done to understand the growth and changes in short-term rentals across Pennsylvania. I became aware of this issue talking both from a housing and a tourism perspective, how we can ensure that we have a opportunity to better understand short-term rentals like Airbnbs and Verbos, how they're growing in our district, but how they might have some adverse effects on affordable housing, attainable housing. From the tourism perspective as well, we know that people are utilizing short-term rentals more and more over hotels. It's an accessible option if people are bringing multiple children, pets, trying to coordinate with different parties, and so we know it's a growing option across the Commonwealth. This study aims to understand how these trends are moving across our different districts, but also what we could do better to ensure that we have more affordable housing options, and what we could do to better understand the short-term rental market as it continues to expand. I did want to offer an amendment as well today, basically allowing us to replace the Legislative Budget and Finance Committee with the Joint State Government Commission to conduct the study, as they're a more appropriate body to comport this work. It would also allow for assistance from the Local Government Commission. So I appreciate the consideration and hope that our colleagues will support this resolution.
Thank you. I now need a motion to consider Representative Powell's amendment 04640. Yes, Representative Probst, seconded by Representative Donahue. Any comments or questions on the amendment from members? Seeing none, are there any negative votes? Seeing none, the amendment is adopted 25-0. I now need a motion to report the House Resolution 425 as amended. Motion to report, Representative Probst, second by Representative Bellman. Are there any comments on the bill or the resolution as amended? Representative Chair Irvin.
Yeah, thank you, Chairman. And I do appreciate this resolution coming forward. I know in my area, tourism with Racetown Lake being in our district we're getting a lot of Airbnbs and a lot of bed and breakfast, that short-term housing that that is definitely helping and improving the tourism. One thing that I know, talking with my local county treasurer, is the fact that the reporting for the room tax or the excise tax through Airbnbs has become a real issue for them and question it. So I'm hoping this study will somewhat address some of those issues, and they can bring a fix forward to this committee or to in legislation form to try to address those issues. So, but thank you for bringing it forward, and I encourage all members to vote in favor of it. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any negative votes on the bill or the resolution as amended? Seeing none, the resolution is reported as amended 25-0. Last up, House Resolution 467. I recognize the resolution's prime sponsor, Representative Belmont, for remarks.
Thank you, chairs, for bringing this up. This is a resolution that will recognize June 2024 as National Immigrant Heritage Month. When I first really started to learn about immigrant stories, it was in high school, where a lot of my friends would tell how their parents and grandparents came to the United States. They let me know that they were from Ireland and places like Greece and places like Poland and England, places I'd never been to but always heard about. And then one of my first jobs out of college is that I was working for a member of the United States Congress as his immigration specialist, where I would help families navigate USCIS in order for them to create their own immigrant stories. And as a member now, I'm happy to represent the 203rd District, where 38.8% of my constituents speak a language other than English. I have a lot of immigrant stories in my district, and I'm very proud of them. I think this resolution would highlight everyone's immigrant stories. I think it's something that is very American, and I really just hope everybody can vote yes on it. Thank you.
Thank you. I need a motion to report House Resolution 467. Representative Donahue, seconded by Representative Khan. Any comments or questions from members? All right, I believe that we can do a quick roll call here. I believe all the Democrats will be a yes and all the Republicans will be a no. Is that correct? That being the case, the resolution is reported out 14-11. Thank you. Any other questions for the good of the order? Comments? And seeing none, this meeting is now adjourned.